Hey, so I went to an AA meeting for the first time tonight, and I just wanted to share my experience without obviously sharing any of what anybody said there, because it is obviously anonymous. It was quite a surreal experience. I don't necessarily consider myself an alcoholic, and I had done before, but I'm also just struggle with addictions in general, whether that's a phone. I'm trying to think of some of the ones I don't mind sharing on YouTube. Yeah, I've struggled with many addictive tendencies in my life. But as someone with ADHD, that is not an uncommon thing. And I have been sober on and off for the last 5 years, and with varying degrees of sobriety. At times I've been completely stone cold sober from everything, and then other times I've considered myself sober, but I'm still consuming weed in one way or another. And yeah, I had just gone back sober recently from alcohol. When I say sober, I usually mean alcohol and hard drugs. That's what I consider as sober for me. And yeah, it's been about a month. And I just keep thinking about drinking. And tonight I even keep looking at the time. We have lockout laws here in Scotland, and I think, well, I best keep check of the time in case I want to go and buy a bottle of wine. And the kind of drinker that I am is a solo drinker these days. I don't really drink around other people. It's something I do in private, from the comfort of my own home, or even the comfort of my own room. Oh yeah, well yeah, because I don't like being around people drinking. And anyway, I decided to go to a meeting, an AA meeting for the first time. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm very wary of places and environments, group settings which feel culty, because I have struggled with those types of settings before, and I've struggled with religions, and there is religious referencing in these meetings, in this set of steps and everything like that. Someone's just coming to the door, but it's definitely not for me. So I'm gonna stay here and chat. And yeah, I've been wary of being around those settings. And I went to the meeting, and it's so similar to all of the other places that can feel culty in that everybody, what you feel at first so astonished by is that everybody's actually listening to each other and actually giving them the space to talk, to share. And the energy in these sorts of places is so beautiful. And this is why they're so easy to become a part of. This is why places can become cults, is because initially there's such a welcoming, powerful, beautiful space with like-minded people and a sense of love, connection, support. And I'm genuinely not saying that anything is wrong about AA. I know loads of people get loads of help from it, but I'm just trying to figure out my feelings about it, because I'm not sure if I should go again, because quite frankly, I'm scared. I'm scared of that kind of energy. I'm scared of churches, and I'm scared of very spiritual groups. But on the other hand, humans are, in general, quite culty. Whether it's a football team, a religion, you know, maybe your reading group is a bit culty, maybe the school mums are a bit culty, or maybe, yeah, anything. Your work can be a bit culty. So, you know, maybe it's not really a bad thing. But the fact that they do mention religion, even though I did clarify with someone, is everybody here actually religious? And they said, no, it's just made a long time ago, the rules and everything. And it's so weird. I just don't know whether to get myself stuck in something that's gonna do me more harm than good. Because the first year that I went sober, which was when I was 21, or 20 even. Yeah, 20, I was 20. The first year I went sober, I did it on my own. And, well, I say did it on my own. Life circumstances and psychedelics forced me through an awakening and a newfound sobriety. So I'm not sure that we ever necessarily do something alone, but I suppose what I mean is I did it without going to any kind of rehab or support group. So in a large sense I did it on my own, but realistically not really. The universe did it to me. That's how I see it anyway. So coming from that perspective of not needing AA before, it's making me wonder if I should go, or if I have my strong willpower to do it my way. But the weird thing is that I haven't stayed sober for the last 5 years. I've been in and out of sobriety, and I do find it easy enough to go sober again, but the amount that I think about alcohol, and the fact that I think about being kind of in that addiction cycle again, and the excitement of, well, I'll just take it too far and then I'll go sober again, and I'm getting excited for the sobriety again. Even before I've even drank again, I go, oh yeah, well, I'll buy some wine and I'll let it get bad and then I'll go sober. And the last time that it was bad, which is not anywhere near as bad as how it had been when I was younger, but it still is really bad and worse than I have experienced it in the last couple of years, is that I was drinking on my own, in bed, in the morning, and missing work for 2 days. And I wasn't even enjoying the alcohol, but it felt like I had to do it because I knew that I was going to go sober again. And it's just such a weird, messed up thing. And I actually spoke to ChatGPT about it because I've been finding that so bloody useful for all this confusing individual experience I'm having that obviously other people have experienced too, but it's nice to really get a very formulated response for exactly who you are and what you're going through. And although I don't really agree with me getting all of this help from AI, it has been useful, and I'm grateful to have had it at the moment. But yeah, I haven't fully formed my opinion on using a robot kind of thing instead of humans, but I'll figure that out. I'm sure we are all figuring that out. And anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so that happened recently. That was about a month ago, and it got to that point, and it was my lucky time to go, oh good, it's got bad enough again, so now I'll go sober again. And then I'm sober and it's like, cool, now we're doing this, and I've done this so many times. And I'm wondering, if it's getting worse in some way. And when I went to this meeting tonight, I could not stop crying. I was just crying so much, and I just couldn't stop, and I felt like, oh God, stop, make it stop. But I couldn't. Like, I knew by the energy in that room that I was in a safe space to completely let go, like on a very subconscious level, even though consciously I was like, please stop, please stop, please stop. But I could not stop crying. Because I knew deep down that it was very okay for me to cry on the first time I've ever been to an AA meeting around loads of other people that are struggling in so many similar ways than I am, not just with addiction, but just with trauma and life and just being a human. Like, you can feel it. It was just so, and listening to people telling their stories, and yeah. So I was very emotional. But one thing that really concerned me and was new information to me, and I'm not sure if it's even really true because I'm confused, but basically one of the things that they say in AA is that it's a progressive, alcoholism is a progressive disease. And when you look on some places, what they mean by progressive is that it progressively affects your life. But going back in my life, when I was younger, I did experience that, but from 12 years old to about 21. So yes, it did get progressively worse significantly with alcohol and other drugs, and I became more dependent on it. But I'm not sure if the progression... Sorry, I didn't even give the other explanation of what the other type of progression it could mean, which is what I'm trying to understand the difference with, because what I heard tonight, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, is that you do become more addicted over time, and actually going sober can make you more addicted in a way, because someone said something like that. I'm not saying that it's to do with their story, I'm not repeating what they said that was personal. It's something to do with the actual AA stuff. I have to be really careful what I say. Anyway, so basically I'm just confused. I'm confused that potentially maybe what I'm worried about, to try and give this some context, is that maybe at some point I will stop being sober again, which I have done over the last 5 years, and that at some point I will not physically, like, I will actually cross the bridge into genuine alcoholism, where I cannot physically stop. And that's really scary, because especially of how far I've come along my healing journey in many, many aspects. And I'm confused if that's going to be a thing for me. But then looking back, that already was a thing for me when I was younger, and it happened quite rapidly. So it doesn't, surely that's not going to happen again. And could it happen in a way worse way that I don't understand? And so these are the things I'm battling with. And battling with how genuine and authentic and wonderful that atmosphere was tonight, but whether it's for me, whether I am better doing things on my own because that's what gives me strength, and I'm kind of, yeah. So anyway, somebody took my number, and I had the sense that that was actually quite lucky for someone's first time going. But and now I think before I go again, I need to really consider, am I an alcoholic? Because I know that you can go without being an alcoholic. That's very clear, that you can go if you've just got a problem with drinking, it's causing you issues, and you've got the desire to stop. And I do, but right now I do want to drink. Anyway, this is probably the most personal I have shared about myself. Well, maybe not, but it's the most I've spoken about things that I would usually save for people that I really trust, but it felt right to record this, and I think recording this is helping me not go to the shop and buy wine right now, and not not fall into the idea that I necessarily need AA or that I need to drink, but maybe both are inevitable. I hope not. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm confused. Anyway, if anybody would like to share any thoughts about their experience in AA and how they kind of got over the religious aspects of it, and that kind of intense group situation that can feel culty, if you have any advice. I mean, one big factor that I'm thinking is definitely it would be better to be addicted to that kind of support and environment than it would be to be addicted to alcohol. And I am scared of the idea of becoming very badly addicted to alcohol, but I don't think that would happen, but you just don't know. Anyway, please share any thoughts that you have, and I will reply, and we can have a good discussion about this. And yeah, thanks for watching my video. Hope you have an absolutely beautiful new start of your year, which is just around the corner. Thank goodness.